Pitt was picked ninth in the preseason voting, and as with every team, pretty much at every level of football, a lot of this depends on the quarterback. And I'm wondering, I was looking at a ranking of ACC quarterbacks today. It might have been from CBS, somewhere like that. Eli Holstein only 12th on that list. What do you think of Pitt? What do you think of him?
Well, I like him a lot. I think a lot of Pitt's preseason conjecture has to do with the way last year ended, like most of these, right?
Yeah.
And I had the SMU game. I did the game where they lost for the first time. And I had some questions coming out of that game. And then I had the Virginia game the next week at home at Acrisure. And after that, I didn't know what to expect. It was counterintuitive to the Pitt program that I'd seen. And, you know, I've always enjoyed covering Pat's teams. I like his staff. I think they've done really well. I think they got playmakers on offense, and they certainly have a playmaker on defense in Lewis, who I think is a terrific player. But they've got to open strong. Now, I know it's Duquesne on Saturday, Joe, but I think that we tell the tale of this team in the first month. And by what we see in that first month, because I know they go to Morgantown at some point in there, right?
Yeah.
That whole process has to play itself out. They're a team that has to build your trust. In other words, you have to kind of see who they are, and I think they've got a chance to jump into the front here. Holstein being picked 12th is somebody not looking at the league. I mean, I know there's 17 teams playing football in the ACC. He's better than 12th.
Yeah, it felt low to me as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a top 10 easy. Now, the problem is Klubnik is like mock draft one or whatever the case may be. Haynes King gets a lot of love. A lot of people. I have questions and concerns about like Carson Beck at Miami. The injury he's coming off of, the comparison I've heard is it's the same injury that Chubba Purdy had with the 49ers. Well, if that's the case, I'm not so sure you come back and Sunday night against Notre Dame, he's going to be lights out, right?
Yeah.
So I think Carson Beck is the one that we probably upgraded a little too far. But I also believe that Eli Holstein is really, really talented. I think the line in front of him, they're not the brand names we've known in the past for Pitt. They're guys who have emerged there. And I'm excited to see what the skill is on the perimeter. We've been waiting, it feels like, on Kenny Johnson for a long time to be a consistent playmaker. This feels like it might be his time. And Des Reed is a showstopper. He's like Dylan Edwards at Kansas State, who unfortunately got hurt the other day, a guy who can run it and catch it and impact the game in so many different ways. And I'm excited and kind of optimistic, and I'd buy Pitt now, knowing kind of the way this offseason has gone. The two teams that I think you have to keep an eye on earlier are NC State and Pitt, because I think they both have talent on both sides to kind of crawl into the conversation behind Clemson and Miami in the ACC.
Meanwhile, and we're talking to Wes Durham, the ACC Network. One of the most fascinating stories, actually, I think, ever in college football to me. I mean, all we have here is the greatest NFL coach, arguably, ever, suddenly coaching North Carolina. What's going to happen here? Yeah. They open, I don't know, TCU was decent last year. Are they any good? And then October 4th, it's Bill Belichick against number 4 Clemson. Well, how's this going to play out, Wes?
I think it's going to be fascinating. And I will tell you this, having kind of grown up around that program with my dad doing the games, Joe.
Yeah.
I was there a week or change ago for the road show we did for ACC Network. And Carolina football has never been discussed more in a 6 or 7 month period than it has since Ben Belichick's been hired, since Belichick was brought on. I mean, it's just not even possible. And it's been since post-World War II when they had Charlie Choo-Choo Justice as a running back, and he was back-to-back, spent consecutive years as a runner-up to the Heisman Trophy. And I'll say this, that was my dad's childhood hero growing up.
Wow.
And Choo-Choo Justice never had this. I mean, now the way we do all this, it's over the top. There are people going to go to Chapel Hill for Monday night, Bob, and they're going just because they want to be a part of it. They're not even got tickets to the game. They don't know how the hell they're going to get in if they even wanted to try. But they want to go tailgate. They want to be in campus. They want to see what the frenzy is about. And look, it's a singular moment in Carolina football. Now, here's the kicker, though, Joe. They may not win the damn game.
Right.
I mean, Josh Hoover is a really good quarterback. But the two things I gleaned from watching them practice, number one, it is a different practice because he's involved. I mean, he's literally involved in drills, which you don't see. You and I have been to enough practices. You don't see the head coach involved in drills a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's involved. Now, he's a 70-odd-year-old guy coaching college football for the first time since he had a GA job for Lou Holtz for 3 weeks in the mid-'70s at NC State. That's the only other time in his career he's ever been affiliated with college football. And I think that they are going to be prepared. I expect them to execute. I think they'll be fundamentally sound, and they're going to be good on defense because Bill Belichick's teams, even in Cleveland, didn't suck on defense, right? Even those were bad teams, they didn't stink. And for me, I am really, really curious to see what Freddie Kitchens and Bill Belichick and some of that staff put together on offense. Because Gio Lopez, the quarterback, who I think will be the quarterback, is a dual-threat guy. He can make plays with his feet, make plays with his arms. They are going to be decent in the offensive line. If they beat TCU, they've got a chance to run it to October undefeated. Now, can you imagine that? Clemson, Carolina, undefeated in Chapel Hill in October. Now the ACC takes a stage, Joe. You want to talk about the opening weekend? Imagine you get Clemson, Carolina, Bill Belichick, Dabo Swinney undefeated in Chapel Hill on a Saturday night on ABC.
Let's do this, Limits. You're up.
Wes, what do you like about Cade Klubnik? Because, obviously the Steelers next year are going to be looking for a quarterback. We always hear about Arch Manning and Aller and Sellers and Nussmeier.
Wow.
Klubnik is really, I feel like, starting to have his name more in the conversation. What have you seen from the guy that's going to be leading a top 5 team in the country in Klubnik?
Is this because he went 50 untouched to beat Pitt last year?
I think that probably helps.
Yeah. Look, I think he's going to be a talented player at the next level. I don't know that I am the best, even though I've done the Falcons for a long time. I don't know that I can project guys like the way some people do because I see quarterbacks who I think will be pretty good at the NFL level, and it hasn't turned for them. I think he's a bright guy. I think he has mastered the media concepts at Clemson, which you have to do as their quarterback. But I'm so far in his career, and some of it due to health and some of it due just to bad coaching, Trevor Lawrence has not materialized at the next level yet, right? This is a big year for him. I think Klubnik, though, has physically and mentally all the skill you want to be a quarterback at the next level. Whether that's in Pittsburgh or not, if you're telling me he's playing for Mike Tomlin, who I have a ton of respect for, I think he can quarterback anybody's team. But the NFL, as you guys know better than most, it's really about the singular matchups and how deep your team is. I mean, we're learning that in Atlanta with some of these injuries we've had in training camp and preseason. But I would buy Cade Klubnik. But there are other guys I would buy too. I think if I get to see the full body of work of Arch Manning and not just, bites and chews here and there, I might buy Arch Manning too. But I think this is a fascinating quarterback draft we're headed to next April.